Hello. This is going to be a video on the friend MasterDoc, originally created by Wandy Doodles on Twitter. Let us begin. The Deltarune Friend Guide. If you've been in the Deltarune fandom long enough, you probably know about the existence of a mysterious character with pamton-colored eyes. In the files, it's known as image_friend and device_friend in the code. Who is he? How often does he appear in-game? Is he a cat? Why is he a cat? These questions are still left unanswered, as it appears that friend and the lore tied to him will be a focus of Chapter 5. However, after the release of the new chapters, we already have a lot to work with to try and get at least a tiny idea of what might be happening. This document contains every appearance of the feline, as well as all the possible lore about him, what he does, and what he might be. Friend does not have confirmed pronouns or gender. In this document, I'll refer to them with he/him pronouns because it's what I've been doing for the past 3 years due to the many theories about him being Mike, and therefore it comes more naturally. It should go without saying that, since he doesn't have any canon gender or pronouns, any headcanon regarding it is currently okay. Warning! Spoilers! This document contains spoilers about Deltarune from Chapter 1 to 4. If you still haven't played them, make sure to do so before reading it. Appearances. Queen's Basement. Device_friend. In the Spampton basement of Queen's Mansion, just for a moment, it is possible to spot a creepy Cheshire cat-like face looking at you. The sprite is called image_friend, and it is a part of the device in the code. For those who don't know, Deltarune's code stores some things in the game with the prefix device in all caps, rather than the normal obj_, and these files include only things tied directly to Gaster. The device includes the vessel creation, the death screen where Gaster talks, the menu where Gaster talks, etc. In the Dark World, there is not a single sprite to be part of the device except for that face. As soon as it appears, it slowly fades into darkness in a matter of seconds. The smile also seems very clearly inspired by the Cheshire Cat's smile from Alice in Wonderland. Rare Barricade, unused. Friend appears a second time in Chapter 2 as part of an unused attack. Birdley's fight was going to utilize barricades with an IQ symbol on them. With a very rare 0.5% chance, you could have gotten a friend barricade instead. Spampton Sweepstakes. On Deltarune.com/secret, one of the wardrobes will take you to Deltarune.com/chair. By clicking on the chair, you have a 0.5% chance of getting a jump scare from friend that uses a unique laugh called face.ogg. The text also says, but what if it could... ... get darker than dark. Rare Cats. On Deltarune.com/rain, Noelle talks about some minigames in Cat Petterz and lets us play one. With a rare 0.1% chance, or after 100 clicks total, friend will appear and do his usual laugh again. The sprite here is called Cat009, confirming friend is a cat. Chapter 3 Introduction. During the Chapter 3 introduction, while Ralsei is explaining how Dark Worlds function, he makes an example of how darkness creates illusion and lets you see, hear, and feel things that normally wouldn't exist in the light. In this cutscene, friend appears under the form of a cat-like monster resembling Endogeny from Undertale. He laughs once more with his usual laugh sound. Sword Route. In the backstage for Chapter 3, you can play the original version of the retro game that Tenna used to make his own game show. During Round 1, some of the empty dark rooms will show friend appearing if you wait long enough. Shadow Mantle Fight. Friend appears again in the Dragon Blazer segment. After you get the ice key and the shelter key, you can enter the shelter and fight the mantle holder. During the fight, in Phase 2, the holder will summon many friend cats that disappear when hit with its usual laugh, and sometimes drop a candy that heals you. Chapter 4 Dark World. Friend can be found extremely well hidden in one of the rooms in the Church Dark World of Chapter 4. This time, He's one with the dark, making it impossible to see even his smile and eyes, if not with sound waves. Mike's room. A lot of the attacks used by the fake mics reference a cat with pink and yellow eyes. This is shown in the attack, mechanics, room objects, and more. Cat Petterz minigame 2! One of the mic minigames has a lot of cats appearing through a random chance, with a very, very rare chance that you will find a friend, who gives you an absolutely insane amount of points through a random RNG chance between negative 50k and plus 300k, and this also breaks your fuel. Cat Petterz. Now, to get into the lore. In Deltarune's universe, there are many games and stories that the characters play or read, which end up having a role in the Dark World. The biggest examples so far are Dragon Blazers and Lord of the Hammer. But there is another game that's mentioned quite a lot, Cat Petterz. It's talked about the most on the Deltarune website, in many different pages. If you've never read about it, here's links to all of them. The game is a clear homage to Cats by PF Magic. It is a 90s PC game where you take care of cats, and it became iconic, especially for its animation style. Each part of the cat's bodies are made of circles that get animated around. If you want a general idea of just how much Cat Petterz references cats, here's the biggest examples. Pets in the Pet series are a conglomerate of fuzzy spheres. Each sphere has its own size, color, and texture, and when told where to randomize and what colors it's allowed to be, the combinations and offspring become quite appealing and unique. For people that don't know the game, it has a special visual style. All the pets are made of circles that get animated around. One circle will be the head, another the eyes, another the pupil, another the body, etc. Users learned how to reverse engineer the system and began producing additional breeds, toys, play scenes, clothes, and developer tools for the game, as permitted by PF Magic, Mindscape, and Ubisoft. Actually, the game has a really deep animation and breeding system, so players have been able to hex edit the game data to create brand new pets. Players could share their pets with others who have the game via an email. But one day, one of the spams I got was nothing but random letters and numbers. I figured it was probably a failed attempt at sending me a virus, but I thought, what if I tried putting it into Cat Petterz 2 as a mod? However, you have to be careful because not all mods are very compatible. When pets fall in love, an egg appears and it hatches into a new pet that combines the animation and visual data of the two parents. Meaning if you try to breed a hamster in a car, you'll either get a complete freak of nature, XD, or worse, you'll get this message, incompatible pet. Then the game will freeze and the music will glitch out. Your new puppy is a boy. Error loading your breed file. It may be corrupt. Click the Help button for instructions on sending your breed to the author for testing, or click OK to continue and show a bug report. I understand that if neglected or abused, Strapo will run away. The next day, when I opened the game, the egg was gone, with a message that said it left home due to happiness. Usually the message is, pet left home due to sadness, and only happens because you neglected your pet. It's not supposed to happen because you were nice, XD. Cat Petterz is also mentioned in-game a lot. It's apparently a very famous series, one that even has movies and RPGs. Blood Crushers 3, Hellbusters, Invasion of the Cat Petterz. Underneath the bed is an old cartridge of Cat Petterz RPG. Like, the other day, I went to see Cat Petterz 2. Cat Petterz? The hell do you have this? Excuse me, it's great. It's like a pet raising game, but there's this, awesome bug that lets you get glitchy pets. I had a save file with, 7 headless cats. There is one main, big difference between Cat Petterz and our real-life cats. In Cat Petterz, cats are hatched from eggs through an RNG system. There are many cats divided in rarity, and of course to find the rarest one, you have to farm eggs and get rid of all the common cats you find. We'll come back to this soon, just keep it in mind. The Tale of Hell. The Forgotten Man, the one behind the tree, appeared on the sweepstakes in the page deltarune.com/thepoorchildren. This page is called The Poor Children, and the description says Therapy. By drawing on the page, you can find the man's usual tree. All of this is referencing the man's room in Chapter 4, which is set in a hospital where you do art therapy. Overall, the man seems tied to some sort of memory from Chris's childhood that they've completely repressed. But this is where things get more specific, because the room that lets you access the man has an NPC talking about the poor children that were mentioned in the man page. The point it followed would the grow, children of the forest lost tail. The words are mixed up, but putting them in the right order gives us the phrase, lost where the forest would grow, the children followed the pointed tail. The poor children. Lost where the forest would grow seems to reference the shelter. The shelter is in a place without trees in the middle of the forest, where the trees would normally grow. The children could be Chris and Des, since they were friends when Chris was little, and we know they often explored that forest. The children followed the pointed tail. This seems to refer to a creature with a tail. A popular interpretation seems to be that the creature guided the children into getting lost, although in reality the phrase seems to imply the children were already lost in the shelter when they found it. Overall, we don't really have any context. Either way, Friend appears in the Shadow Mantle fight, which takes place inside the shelter where the forest would grow. What truly ties all of this together, however, is a second text in Chapter 4. One of the prophecy texts, meant to depict what we'll see in the next chapters, says this: "They'll see the tail of hell take crawl." This seems to confirm we're talking of a creature with a tail, but not only that, the tail is described as of hell, fitting with the idea that this creature comes from the depths, which Jevil describes as hell. And the tail is drawn entirely out of circles. Now, doesn't that remind you of anything? For people that don't know the game, it has a special visual style. All the pets are made of circles that get animated around. There's even an unused version of the tail, where it's even more clear what it's meant to look like, circles and all. Friend is undeniably tied to Cat Petterz, not only because it would be weird to talk so much about this series if it meant nothing, but also because he literally appears in the Cat Petterz minigames, both on the website and in the game. What really ties all of this together, though, is something else. Remember this link? Deltarune.com/thepoorchildren. Clearly referencing the game's line, "The children followed the pointed tail, the poor children." This is the page where you can draw by placing little squares, and after you've drawn long enough, the man's tree will appear. What I didn't mention earlier is that when the man's tree appears, you can click on it. In doing so will take you back to the page deltarune.com/egg, a blog about a special cat in Cat Petterz. The page can be drawn on using a mouse. After some time, the drawn squares start to disappear. After drawing more than 2,500 squares, drawing on the middle of the screen reveals an egg-related tree, which directly links to /egg. The egg. The pieces slowly start connecting. The Forgotten Man is connected to the tail, who in turn is connected to eggs, that in turn are connected to Cat Petterz. But what does this mean? Back in 2018, people noticed something very special about our Forgotten Man. The first thing you notice about the man is the fact that you can't see him. He is behind the tree. Have you ever heard about the Schrödinger's cat paradox? Schrödinger's cat is a famous thought experiment that demonstrates the idea in quantum physics that tiny particles can be in two states at once until they're observed. If you want a simpler explanation, the experiment asks you to imagine a cat inside of a box with a mechanism that could kill it with a completely random chance. The cat is then stuck in a state of chances, with the idea being that until you open the box and see it, the cat is both dead and alive at the same time. The tree is like the box here, keeping the man in a state of chances. When you go behind it, the narration says this: "Well, where is the man here?" However, once he gives you the egg, it changes to its opposite state. "Well, where's the man here?" Note that you can still feel its physical hitbox behind the tree by walking there. The man is stuck in a state of superpositions where he exists and doesn't exist at the same time, just like the cat being dead and alive. So what about the egg he gives you? Not important. It, too, is stuck in this state. It's not too important and not too unimportant. Both flagrantly contradictory aspects at once. That's not all. This egg can be taken to Asgore's fridge, another box where you can't see it. All that's inside is a jar with a single pickle in it. Initially, the fridge contains only a single pickle. The game then asks you if you want to put the egg inside it. Once you do, you can check again, where it says, "There are 2 eggs inside the fridge." Your quantum Schrodinger's egg affected the pickle when you closed the fridge. Opening it again forced the pickle into another state, turning it into a second egg. This is a very direct reference because it includes physically closing an egg in a box where you can't see it until you open it. The new chapters seem to have revealed that the reason the man is stuck in this quantum superposition is due to him being forgotten and somewhat erased from existence. If you go on Deltarune.com/man, you'll find this. It is a recreation of the tree where the forgotten man hides in Deltarune, the one who gives you eggs. Now guess what happens by clicking behind it? Deltarune.com/egg. Just like the Poor Children page, everything about the man links back to this Cat Petterz blog. I suggest reading this page yourself if you never did, because it's very, very interesting. It talks about how in Cat Petterz, cats hatch from eggs through a certain RNG system, dividing them in rarities, as we mentioned. And one time, Noelle received an egg that nobody else in the world had found, and it said, "Special." The egg, from how it's described, behaves exactly like the eggs that the man behind the tree gives us, likely implying he put the egg in her game. If you have no pets, it's known that there's a rare chance for an egg to appear giving you a random pet. This is the only way to get some of the secret cats in the game, which are still super rare on top of that. So it's a lot of waiting for eggs, hatching them, and throwing away tons of cats trying to get the perfect character. This causes other problems, but I'll explain that another time. But one day, when I was trying to get the ultimate cat, something weird happened. A white egg showed up on my screen, but there was a message with it. Special. I was really excited. I had never gotten a special egg before. In fact, I'd never even heard of it at all. I sat there for an hour waiting to see what it would turn out to be. Maybe I would be the first one to discover a brand new cat. The egg didn't hatch in front of her. It remained the same and acted very glitchy until eventually, after she started petting it and brushing it, the egg left home due to happiness. You may have figured it out by now, but it's very likely that putting the man's quantum egg inside of a game where cats hatch from eggs may have created a living Schrodinger's cat. This is even referenced by Noelle, who thinks the egg wasn't hatching because it didn't know what cat to hatch into, and it was in every state of existence at once. But that's not all. The egg was special and super rare, just like Friend, who tends to appear with very rare RNG chances, and he appeared as the rarest cat in the Rare Cats minigame. If Friend comes from Cat Petterz, then this is his most likely origin, hatched from a quantum egg that the Forgotten Man put in Cat Petterz. It could also be that he originated from another part of Cat Petterz, but I wouldn't really see the point in making it so that cats hatch from eggs in this game if a cat didn't eventually hatch from one, especially because Noelle says that the egg had a name that she forgot. The egg actually had a name, but I don't remember what it was. It's been driving me crazy ever since. If anyone else has ever seen an egg in their game like this, please sign my guest book. Please. First one gets 100 cheesy points from me, XD. You see, the pointed tail dialogue is not in any room. It's inside a very secret room that you can find in a corridor full of classic church windows. They all have the same symbols with something that looks like an upside down egg at the top, except for one of them that has the correct egg. And this window lets you enter the pointed tail room. It's not just an interpretation, because the sprite confirms the symbol is meant to be an egg too. The sprite is called sprite_background_churchb_windowsill_egg, thus further connecting the pointed tail to an egg. Something I also came to realize recently, and feel like is worth bringing up, is that the roots panel inside this room reminds me a lot of the adoption center from Cats, characterized by being a simple house with 2 trees/bushes on its side. I heard something in between. Lost where the forest would grow, the children followed the pointed tail. The poor children. The tail quote is inside the room with an egg symbol at the entrance. It's the same room from which you find the man in this chapter. The room in between. There's a room in between. Deltarune.com/lost where the forest would grow. Deltarune.com/the poor children. These 2 pages straight up take you to the man's tree. Clicking on the tree takes you to the egg page about Noelle's mysterious egg in Cat Petterz, Deltarune.com/egg. A white egg showed up on my screen, but there was a message with it. Special. Maybe I would be the first one to discover a brand new cat. Cats in Cat Petterz hatch from eggs, and they're made of circles, just like the tail in question. For people that don't know the game, it has a special visual style. All the pets are made of circles that get animated around. All these connections seem to point at Friend being born in Cat Petterz, likely from the man's eggs, or at least being strongly connected to it. With this huge information, we can look back at his other appearances and start connecting a lot more things. Friend and uncertainty. We've talked about how Friend is likely to have been born from that egg in Cat Petterz, becoming a sort of living Schrodinger's cat. The idea of an egg that doesn't know what to hatch into is related to the concept of uncertainty, something that's not clearly shaped or determined, but rather unclear and predictable. The first time many players will see Friend is in the cutscene at the start of Chapter 3. Remember what this cutscene is about? You see, when it gets dark, things become more indistinct. Your eyes can't see the truth anymore. Mike is definitely a microphone. Mike is definitely a cat. Mike is definitely a cowboy. Mike is definitely amalgamate. It's unclear how many dogs this counts as. Indistinct means not clearly shaped or defined. That's exactly what Friend is, as living uncertainty, an in-between state of chances. Not entirely one thing, not entirely another, like the egg itself. Not too important, not too unimportant. He's drawn in the cutscene in a way that parallels endogamy, aka a character known for being made of an uncertain number of dogs at once. Friend's body is detached from its face, probably because it's morphable and doesn't have a single defined shape. If you download the right mods, you can raise birds, hamsters, cars, cartoon characters, and even more. Even Queen's Simpton family pack is a great example of how far things can go. I had so many mods installed that the egg didn't know what to hatch into, but at the time I thought my computer was haunted or something, or that the egg was gonna kill me, XD. This might be why Friend is so connected to RNG. On the sweepstakes, you have a 5% chance of him appearing on the chair page, and a 0.01% chance in the Rare Cats minigame. His unused appearance in the Burnley attack is a 1 in 200 chance. He has an RNG chance to heal you in the Shadow Mantle fight. Even more directly, every cat from the Cat Petterz minigame gives you a pre-established number of points, except for Friend. It gives you a random amount between -5,000 and 300,000 because he's living uncertainty. RNG chooses a possibility out of multiple existing ones. He's the key to the ocean in a game that wants you to follow a river, if that makes sense. Gerson also seems to reference the power of uncertainty and darkness. Well, we were following that prophecy so closely, I couldn't quite see where I was going. I just think those words shine a bit too bright. A path so blue it's all you can see. So I say, why don't we go in between the lines? It's darker there. The man's rooms are found in between other rooms. The darker it is, the closer we get to the unknown, the unpredictability. I think that's where Friend's roams, hence why he constantly hides in darkness. This also makes it likely for Friend to be the one who helped Spamton. Spamton wasn't meant to be big, his destiny was to be small. He's Spam Mail. He was by definition made to fail. But what if he could reach something morphable? Something whose fate is not pre-established, but an uncertain probability. Someone that can take the path Spamton was made to follow and open a new one. That's freedom.
Fashionable pink and yellow glasses greatly increases chrono burn.
This takes us to the secret Z rank room, another way to access the backstage. This room has a phone identical to Spamton's and a poster of Spamton antenna, implying the room is connected to him and maybe the deal he was about to do with Tenna before reaching the phone call. The important part is that the poster is glitching out, using the exact same sprite from the Friend cutscene. This, of course, would explain why Spamton wears pink and yellow glasses as a lucky charm. A story about a shopkeeper that gets helped by a cat creature who beckons customers into buying things from him. That's exactly like the folk tales about lucky cats. According to Japanese tradition and beliefs, Mankei Neko, Lucky Cat, figurines are believed to attract customers and money in businesses. You have to be lucky to find Friend on many occasions, and he's always tied to rare and secret cats in Cat Petterz. Heck, the egg we assume he came from was special. And when you find him in the Cat Petterz minigame, he can give you up to 300,000 points if you're lucky. For comparison, the second rarest cat after him can only give you 20,000. That's how powerful he is. Note, it's also unclear if the person who made Spamton a big shot is the same one that's contacting the secret bosses. It could be that Friend made Spamton a big shot, then Spamton was about to share that with Tenna and was interrupted by the person giving shadow crystals, causing Friend to leave. If Friend is indeed Spamton's benefactor, then the question is clear. Why did he help him? Humble Servant. During the sword route, Friend can appear a couple times, including inside the fight against the Shadow Mantle Holder. It is possible that Friend is the Mantle Holder itself, but right now it's unlikely for a couple reasons. The Mantle Holder appears in separate rooms from Friend before the fight, and their attacks are almost all related to fire. It has a unique laugh track which is very different from Friend's laugh, and it physically looks very different. The orange mouth with fangs on the mantle holder is the result of the owner, and it looks nothing like Friend's smile. On top of all this, the mantle holder has a unique animation for summoning Friend during the fight. What seems to be the most likely explanation is that Friend is helping the mantle holder, and the reason why he's doing that might come from the same root. When you first arrive at the backstage, there's a vending machine right outside of it. This is the only machine in the game that turns dark dollars into points, so it's very useful. But the interesting part is if you try to buy. For a price of free, you can buy a Smile. Something of notice is that this text is written in all caps in English and katakana in Japanese, a trait shared with Gaster's dialogues. The description of Smile says, you can buy this item infinitely, and you just get the text, "It smiled." If you get it in the final round, the text will change to, "It still smiled." Once you defeat Eram... Okay, now we're calling him Eram? Great. Once you defeat Eram and get the Shadow Mantle, checking Smile from the machine results in a big text saying, "Sold out." Weird, right? Well, this connects to another important detail. When Chris first enters the backstage to play the original game and get the Shadow Mantle, they actually can't play. This is because there's no controller. We would assume that maybe Tenna removed it on purpose from there. However, as soon as Chris realizes they can't play, they leave the room, and a controller magically appears on the ground. The narrator seems surprised too. Huh? There's a controller fallen on the ground. Odd controller was added to your key items. Someone put the controller there for you to play. It's unlikely for that to be Ram, but because he has no unique dialogues after this. And later he mentions he stands still there to make sure nobody enters the room while you're playing. And guess what the controller description says? A gamepad no one wanted to use. The buttons are in ugly pink and yellow. What? Someone backstage with you? It is very likely that Friend is the one who gave you the controller. And he's the same who makes the vending machine smile, which is why he disappears once you've gotten the Shadow Mantle. While it's true that the Friend faces can hurt you during the fight, they're also the only things that heal you. This information starts gaining more context thanks to the Small Mike's description of Friend. Being a friend doesn't make you them yours. Those teeth, they bad. We don't know Friend's real name, but there must be a reason he's called Friend in the files. Given his likely origin from a pet simulator, it's possible that Friend has a tendency to assist anyone who finds him or summons him. He was helping the mantle owner fight you, and at the same time he helped you fight them. He's probably the one who helped Spamton become a big shot, and when the children fell in the shelter, he probably followed someone's orders to make them follow him. Perhaps Gaster's? This, of course, would tie well with his demonic imagery. It's also possible that Friend is a monkey's paw situation, where his way of helping someone comes with consequences. This would be very accurate to what he does in the minigame, making you rich with points but taking away your fuel at the same time. Related to this concept is the possibility that Friend has powers connected to the concepts of love and value, hence the colors of his eyes. It wouldn't be the first time this is done in media, and it would tie into Cat Petterz's main gameplay mechanics. Cats who fall in love make eggs, and the rarer a cat is, the more rich he can make you in points with minigames. The same way the uncertainty of the cats in the egg led to Friend being that uncertain quantum feline, perhaps the other gameplay elements of Cat Petterz affected him as well. Spamton Love Network and Spamton Value Network. A good example comes by Judgment Boy from Gregory Horror Show. He holds cages shining pink and yellow in the darkness and asks moral questions that make you choose between money or love in your life. Spamton himself seems to have made this choice. Becoming a big shot led to him separating from his friends, and he lost everything when he tried balancing the money in his life with love by sharing the secret with Tenna, who he cared about a lot. Overall, this idea doesn't have much evidence for it, but it would serve as a good explanation for the eye colors, which seem to be important. Summary and trivia. Despite all the things we have about Friend, they're all still incredibly vague, making it impossible for us to have any clear idea on him at the moment. I hope for now this document was enough to make you wonder about him, and see some of what seems to be the most likely possibilities for his existence. To summarize, Friend is likely a creature tied to Cat Petterz. The exact origin is unknown, but the current most likely option, judging by the game's connections, is that he hatched from an egg that the Forgotten Man inserted in Cat Petterz. Part of the man's egg room has an NPC that says, "Lost where the forest would grow, the children followed the pointed tail." The tail is then described as Tail of Hell by the prophecy, and is represented as being made of many circles, just like cats in Cat Petterz, meaning it might be Friend's tail. Friend is likely to be a humble servant type of character, since he seemingly helps you, the Shadow Mantle Holder, Gaster, and even Spamton, hence the name Friend. Friend seems very tied to the concept of uncertainty. The egg he hatched from didn't know what to hatch into, and he appears in the cutscene about uncertainty and darkness, as well as being very tied to RNG and uncertainty. In this sense, he's basically a living Schrodinger's cat. It's also still possible that Friend is the mysterious Mike. The Mike room in Chapter 3 is based on a gag, being that nobody in Tennis Dark World knows who Mike is, so they just pretend to be him. Whether Mike as a whole is also a joke, or if he really exists somewhere, is left ambiguous, especially given how much Spamton cares about Mike. The Mike room has an insane amount of references to Cat Petterz, and if Friend is indeed a shapeshifter, it could give a satisfying answer to why nobody knows what Mike looks like. Friend Fun Facts. In the files of Chapter 3, Friend is not called image_friend as usual, but rather an empty underscore. His real name is being hidden, which lines up with what Noelle said about the egg. She can't remember the name. The Knight's Laugh is a modified version of Friend's Laugh. In the Batot minigame, Friend uses the Knight's Laugh, sound_night_laugh, instead of his own, face.ogg. On the sweepstakes, Noelle's blog contained 2 song titles that were foreshadowing actual tracks from the upcoming Deltarune OST, Raise Up Your Bat and Glacier. There's a third one called No Cats from Cat Petterz, but it hasn't appeared yet, implying it probably will appear in the next chapters. It is very likely that Friend will be explained more directly in Chapter 5, since Gerson calls that chapter The Field of Pink and Gold. Chapter 5, The Field of Pink and Gold. The vast garden is charred in an inferno of jealousy. The Tail of Hell is also referenced by Organics, who advise you to follow the prophecy and not the tail. Friend's possible inspirations include the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland and Cookie Cat from Steven Universe, why is this getting referenced? Who's characterized by being a black cat with a giant smile and pink and yellow eyes. I did it! I'm done! Thank you for watching this far into the video. If you liked it, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I also hear that YouTube has a new hype feature. I don't know about that, but feel free to click on it regardless. Thank you for watching, and have a good day. I'm free. I can finally leave. Martha, I'm coming home, sweetie.